This conference will now be recorded.
Good day, everyone. How are you? Today we will. My name is Yasir Gulfraz, and I'm your tutor for human resource management, strategic human resource management. Today we will discuss strategic human resource management, understanding the formulation and implementation of human resource strategies. So today we will start from the concept of human resource planning. Human resource planning is the process of assessing the current skills and motivation techniques of the workforce and comparing them with the what will be needed in the future. As we know, every business is consultant. Every business is every, as we know that every business today we will as we know every business is constantly evolving and facing new challenges. It is therefore crucial to have a plan in place to ensure that the business has the necessary skills and talent to overcome any obstacles that may arise in the future. To achieve this, a business must consider both internal and external factors that may affect its workforce. Internally, the business must look at the skills and experience of its current employees as well as the level of motivation and engagement. Externally, the business must consider factors such as economic trends, technological advancements, and changes in the labor market. By taking all these factors into account, the business can identify any gaps in its current workforce and take steps to address them. So, this may include training current employees to acquire new skills, hiring new talent, or developing new in such a program to motivate and retain employees. So, anybody can hear me? Hello. So, can you see my screen? Anybody is there? Anyone is there? Okay. Uh, Now we will the process of the now we will discussing the process of human resource planning. Human resource planning is an essential function of any organization as it involves the management of the workforce and ensures that the organization has the right people with the right skill in the right roles to achieve its goals. The process of human resource planning involves several key steps such as business strategic plans, resourcing strategies, scenario planning, demand supply forecasting, labor turnover analysis, work environment analysis, human resource plans, operational effectiveness analysis. Then, furthermore, resourcing, retention, flexibility, productivity, and work environment. So, the first step to sorry, the first step is to align the human resource plan with the business strategic plan. This involves here business strategic plan. This involves understanding the organizational's goal and objectives and identifying the roles and skills required to achieve them. Then develop a resource strategy. Uh, this involves identifying the source of talent and developing plan to contract, attract, recruit, and retain employees. It also involves identifying any skills gaps that need to be addressed through training or developed. Uh, Next step is demand supply forecasting. This involves analyzing the organization's current and future workforce needs and determining whether the supply of talent is sufficient to meet those needs. It also involves forecasting the demand for talent based on the organization's strategic plan. Scenario planning, this involves developing contingency plans for different scenarios such as changes in the business environment, unexpected turnover, or changes in technology. Anybody can hear me? Any questions, or can you guys see my screen? Okay, next is labor turnover analysis. This involves analyzing the reasons for employee turnover and developing strategies to reduce turnover rates. Uh, Work environment analysis. This involves assessing the work environment and identifying any factors that may affect employee productivity or job satisfaction. Operational effectiveness analysis. This involves analyzing the efficiency of the organization's human resource process and identifying opportunities for improvement. Next, developing human resource plan. Human resource plan, developing details plans for recruitment, training and development, retention and flexibility to meet the organization's workforce needs. Then next is finally the ninth step is to implement the human resource plans. This involves putting the plans into action, monitoring progress, and making adjustment as necessary. So further, we will discuss internal planning factors. Just give me a second. I'll be back in a minute. Sorry, yeah. Next is the internal planning factors. These are factors that relate. So what is already happening inside the business. This include how the organization is changing. It is also important consider the new skills that will be needed in the future and those uh, the existing staff already have by measuring the gap between the skills already present and those that are needed. Organization can identify area where they need to invest in staff training and development to bridge that gap. For example, let's say company wants to introduce a new product line that requires staff to have a certain level of technical expertise. So they would need to assess whether their existing staff already possess these skills or if they need to hire new employees with the necessary qualifications. This way, the company can plan for the future and ensure they have the right people in the right roles to achieve their goals. Uh, I hope you guys can see my screen. If you can't see, just please let me know. Next is organizational needs, the workforce. The importance of workforce adaptation in response to changing organizational needs. As you know, the demand for product and services can affect the number of people needed to in certain roles, which is why it's crucial for businesses to able to adapt to these changes. One way that business can do this is by moving into new markets, both domestically and abroad. If a business decides to expand overseas, for example, staff may need to learn new languages and acquire new skills in order to communicate effectively with international customs and partners. Additionally, if a business grows, more staff may be needed in distributions to ensure that products are delivered on time and go to the right location. Uh, Technological changes is another factor. Yeah, technical changes is another factor, and it's a more important factor, can also affect the internal working arrangement. Machinery leads to redundancies, new training may be needed, internal shopping and staff self-scan checkouts, outstanding production to cheaper countries, and some other new technologies such as artificial intelligence is more advanced technology for other departments, also HR departments as well. Outstanding production to cheaper countries, another trend the businesses may need to consider in response to changing organizational needs. While this can lead to cost saving, it can also have implications for the workforce. For example, if a business decides to outsource production, some staff may need to be let go, while others may need to be trained to work with new suppliers. Also, now we are discussing the skills for current workforce in human resource planning. This is very essential aspects of any organizational success, regardless of whether it is capital intensive or labor intensive. Assessing the skill of your workforce enables you to build a profile of the training, experience, and qualifications that your employees already have. By doing so, you can identify areas where your staff may require additional training and develop strategies for improving their performance. As the nature and type of work changes within an organization, so do the skills requirement. This is why it is critical to measure the skills level of your workforce regularly to ensure that you can plan for the future by conducting appraisal, awarding certificate, and providing ongoing training opportunities. You can help your employees to develop the skills that need to succeed their role. Also, uh, keep in your mind that today's a fast-paced business environment. It is essential to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to skill development. This means that organization need to proactive in assessing their workforce skills and providing ongoing training development opportunities to keep their staff up to date with the latest industry trends and practices. Uh, let's define what a workforce profile is. A workforce profile is a collection of information about the employees who work for your business. This information typically include details such as age, gender, ethnicity, and availability. You might be wondering why this information is important. Well, knowing the ages of your employees can help you plan for the future. For example, if you have a lot of employees who are approaching retirement age, you may need to start thinking about how you can fill those positions in the future. Additionally, having this information on hand ensure that you're filling any legislation requirements relating to age discrimination in the workplace. It is also worth noting that large gap in age within your workplace can cause problem. For example, if you have a lot of employees who are in their 50s and 60s, but very few who are in their 20s and 30s and 40s, you may struggle to attract younger talent to your business. By having a clear picture of the ages of your employees, you can take steps to combat this. Uh, Another important aspect of workforce profiling is looking at the qualification and training of your employees. By profiling the skills and expertise of your workforce, so you can make use of any special skills staff members have. For example, if you have an employee who is a particularly skilled in data analysis, you might be able to assign them to a project that requires those skills. This not only benefit for your business but also ensure that your employees feel valued and utilized to their full potential. Next is external planning factors. Uh, External planning factors that affect business, especially factors that are beyond their direct control. One of the most significant external factors that affect businesses in the supply of labor. The availability of workers and their skill is particular areas can greatly impact companies' ability to hire qualified employees. It is essential to consider the local trade and trends nationally and even internationally, such as the impact of Brexit uh, on Britain membership of the EU. By understanding these factors, businesses can better prepare and plan of their business labor's need. Another factor business needs is labor cost. Labor cost. Cost of labor compared to other businesses costs will depend on whether the business is labor intensive or capital intensive, as well as the availability of skilled labor. National minimum wage requirement in the UK also influence labor cost. Next is workforce skill. Workforce skills are another important external factor that can impact a business ability to attract and retain the right employees. Businesses can use published national statistics to assess the type of skills availability in their local areas or regions. It is crucial to consider future needs and those of competitors to attract the best people, which may require additional incentives. Right. Uh, Now, next is government policy. So, government policy that government put in place can have a big impact on the skills that workers need. For example, changes to education policies can lead to gaps in skills or they can address these gaps. This is something that businesses needs to be aware of so they can plan accordingly. Second factor is labor market. As a business plan its workforce needs to the future, so do other businesses within the same industry. There may not be enough skilled employees for each businesses, which means that businesses may need to offer more money to attract the right staff. How our business needs manage their future well to make a profit. So finally, changing nature of work. The idea of a job for life used to standard in the workplace, but now employees need a wider range of skills and must be willing to change employees and job roles in order to stay employed. Override working flexibility, working hours, and working from home are now commonplace in the workplace. Flat organizational structures means that employees may have to move to get a promotion. Anybody can hear me or can you see my screen? Okay. Uh, we will discussing three important topics related to human resources, employees' expectations, the impact of automation and demand for products and services. These are crucial factors that businesses needs to consider the managing their workforce. Uh, employers expectations. Every employer is unique, and different type of contracts may suit different individuals. For instance, some people may have business to take care of a home, uh, which means they cannot work full time. In the case a part time or casual contract may be more suitable. As an employer, it is important to be aware of these different type of contracts and tailor them to the individual needs of employees. Next one is automation of organization. With the advancement of technology, uh, over time, organizations have had to adopt to changes in the way that operate. For example, internet and email have made it possible for customers to enter their own details online, emailing, eliminating the need for phone operation. As an organization, it is important to stay up to date with these changes and to embrace new technologies that can improve efficiency and productivity. Finally, demand for product and services. Natural disaster such as hurricanes or earthquakes can impact the demand of certain goods and services. For instance, hotels may be experience a drop in demand following a natural disasters in their areas. In addition, competition can also affect the demand for goods and services. If a competitor begins out new technology that makes your organization's products or services obsolete, obsolete, this can also impact the demand. It is important for businesses to be aware of these natural changes in demand and to object their HR requirements or staff level accordingly. So here is talking about, as we discussed yesterday as well, HRM models, Tyson and Fell, clerks of work, contracts manager, architects. So HR models as they relate to different job roles, specifically uh, here we will discuss Tyson and Fell models and how it, it applies to the job role of clerk to works, contract managers, and architect. A clerk of works in this role, HR activities are large routine focused on employment and day-to-day administrations. Policies tend to be short-term and ad hoc. So this means the HR department is not heavily involved in strategies planning and decision making. The focus in mainly on ensuring that the organization complies with legal and regulatory requirements. Contract manager, we see a shift towards more sophisticated HR system. HR manager is the role is likely to be a professional or very experienced in industrial relations. However, they are not on the board and will act mainly in an interpretative, not a creative or innovative role. The HR department's focus is still on ensuring compliance, but there is more emphasis on strategic planning and decision making. So, last is architect. In this role, HR policies exist as a part of the corporate strategies. Human resource planning and development are important concepts, and a long term view are taken. The head of HR is likely to be on the board with power, drive from professionalism, and contribution to the business. The HR department is heavily involved in strategic planning and decision making, with a focus on ensuring that the organization's HR policies and practices align with the overall business strategies. Uh, Here is he is also discussing about really outlines of distinct HRM roles, change making advisors, regulations, uh, handmaidens. As you can see here story model. So story model outline four distinct HRM roles here: change makers, advisor, regulators, and handmaidens. Uh, these HR professionals are interventionally and strategic, which means they that play an active role in shaping the company's HR strategy. They work to ensure that the company's HR practices align with the overall business strategy. Change makers are crucial in creating a competitive advantage for the company through effective HR management. Advisors are non-interventionally and strategic, which means they act as an internal consultant. Regulators are the third HR role. These HR professionals are interventionary and are tactical, which means they are concerned with formulating and monitoring employment rules. Regulators are the manager of discount who work to prevent legal and ethical violations within the organization. They work to ensure that the company complies with relevant employment legislations and regulations. Handmaidens are non-interventionary and tactical, which means they provide a service to meet the needs of line managers. They are possible for tasks such as recruitment, payroll, benefit administration. They play a vital role in supporting the day-to-day operations of the organizations. Next one is here we will discuss Caldwell model. Caldwell model of HRM, which focuses on the role of HR managers as change agent. According to this model, there are four types of HR manager when it comes to change management. Change champion, these are the HR manager who are able to envision, lead, or implement strategic change within organizations. uh, they are the one who have a clear and innovative vision for the future of the organization and are able to inspire and lead others to bring about that change. Secondly, change adapter. These HR managers are known as reactive pragmatists who are able to adopt the vision to the realities of the organizations. They understand that organization change is slow, iterative process and are able to work within the existing structure of the organizations to bring about change in a realistic and sustainable way. Third one, change consultant. These HR managers are responsible for implementing discrete change projects or key stages of an HR change initiative. They work closely with another department and teams to ensure that the changes in is implemented effectively and efficiently. Last one is synergists, change synergists. They are the HR manager who are strategically coordinate, integrate, and deliver large scale and multiple change projects across the whole organizations. They are able to see the big picture and understand how different change initiatives fit together to create a cohesive and successful organizational transformation. Next one, he is talking about competency framework for the HR specialists. uh, Company framework for HR specialist. As an HR specialist, we you play a vital role in the success of your organization. The framework consists of several key competencies that you should strive to develop and excel in. Can you see my screen or can you hear me? If there is any issue, please let me know. First, competency in business and cultural awareness. As a HR specialist, you should understand your organizational environment, competitive pressure, and critical success factors. You also be aware of the culture of the business, including its core values and norms. Additionally, you should understand how HR policies and practices can impact businesses' performance and put this understanding to good use. Second is strategic capability. Also, you should seek involvement in the business strategies, formulations, and contribute to the development of the strategy. You should understand how HR can support the achievement of the business strategy and contribute to the development of a clear vision and set of integrated values. Additionally, you should develop and implement coherent HR strategy that are integrated with the business strategy and with each other. The third competency is organizational effectiveness. You should contribute to the planning and implementation of cultural change and organizational development program. You should help to develop resources capability by ensuring that the business has the skilled, committed, and well motivated workforce it needs. You should also help to develop process capability by influencing the design of work system to make the best use of people. Finally, you should contribute to the development of knowledge management process. Fourth competency is internal consultancy. You should carry out the analysis and diagnosis of people issues and propose practical solutions. You should adopt an interventionist style to meet client needs and act as a catalyst, facilitator, and expert or as required. Also use process consultancy approaches to resolve people problems and coach clients to deal with their problems while transferring skills. The fifth competency is service delivery. You should anticipate requirement and set up appropriate services to meet them. Uh, Also provide efficient and cost effective services in each HR areas and respond promptly and efficiently to requests for HR services, help and advice. Additionally, should promote the empowerment of line managers to HR discussions but provide guidance as required. The last one is continuous professional development. Continuous development your professional knowledge and skills, benchmark goods HR practices, and keep in touch with new HR concepts, practices, and techniques. You also demonstrate and understand of relevant HR practices. Right, next one is analysis the development and implementation of human resource strategies. The strategies involved in planning human resource requirement are outlined as the initial stages determination of organizational purpose and objectives for which planning is needed. For example, if an organization has increased employee turnover, then objective will be find reasons behind the concerns and plan a solution. The second step is environmental scanning For example, in this case, organization will discuss the concern with employees and supervisors to identifying reasons. Also, it will assess skills, evaluations, and delegations of task of get idea of workload, stress, etc. Uh, Armstrong and Taylor, 2018, they discussed in their books. Third step is determining gap. The gap between the current human resource solution and future needs. This involves analyzing the gap between the current workforce and the number of employees required to meet future production targets. Once the gap is identified, the organization can determine whether to hire new employees, retain current employees, or outsource the work. Fourth step is identifying the needs of jobs, positions, skills, and knowledge requirements. This steps involves designing job description, person specifications, training program, and compensation and benefit package. It is very important to ensure that these programs are designed to attract and retain the best talent. Next step is executing the human resource planning. Uh, Example, in this case, recruitment is made for new skilled employees. So, hiring new employees, retraining current employees, and outsourcing work as required. The goal is to ensure that the organization has the right people in the right roles to achieve our goals. Final step is evaluating and monitoring the plan. This involves meaning the success of plan by comparing the performing of new employees against set standards and expected outcomes. It is important to make adjustment as required to ensure that the organization is meeting its goals. Recruitment and the HR selection process. Recruitment can be defined as the process of searching for the obtaining a pool of potential candidate with the desired knowledge, skills, and experience to allow an organization to select the most appropriate people to fill job vacancies against defined positions, descriptions, and specifications. A HR selection process is strategically planned procedure approach developed by human resource professionals and implemented by organizations when recruiting, evaluating, and hiring new employees. This process involves a series of steps, including job analysis, job posting, screening, interviewing, testing, reference, checking, and job offer. Uh, I will break up. Let's break down each step in detail. First is a job analysis involving gathering information about the task, responsibilities, and requirements of a job. This information is used to develop a job description and person specification. Next is job posting involves advertising the job and vacancy through various channels such as job boards, social media, and company websites. Screening is the post of reviewing resumes and application of determine if candidate meet the minimum qualification for the job. Interviewing is where the organization assess the candidate's skills, experience, and are fit for the job through a face-to-face or virtual meeting. Testing involves assessing the candidate's skills and knowledge through various methods such as aptitude test or work sample test. Reference checking involves contacting the candidate's reference to verify their employment history, job performance, and character. The job offer is uh, job offer is made to the successful candidate, and negotiations on salary and other benefits are discussed. That's it for today. Here some handouts, references, and etc. So if you got any question or anything in your mind, please drop me an email, tutor-management at ukversity.co.uk. I hope we will meet for next session, HRM, by next. I won't be here by next Saturday, but we'll see. I'll see you next Sunday. And thank you very much, and have a nice evening and good day. Bye for today.